Hi everyone, it's Lisa, and today on DoodleDrawArt we're going to draw Pikachu. We're going to start off by sketching in the area that we would like to draw him. So first I'm going to make a circle for his face, and then I'm going to make another circle for his body, a little bit bigger, and I'm going to show where his arms will go, and his little feet will be down here, and then his ears will be off in these directions here, and his tail is going to be sticking out from in behind, sort of like the number 7. So this just places him on the page, and now I can get started to draw him in. The top of Pikachu's head is a little bit pointed up, but sort of straight across. So I'm thinking about a line that's going to go straight, but it's just going to come up a little bit, and then down to the side like this. And then his ears are also pretty much straight lines until the end, so they're going to go out straight and then off to the point. Now we're going to leave a fairly large spot here for his ear because it's quite thick, and then we're going to go back up and then meet up at the top corner. Now this section of the ear is going to be black, just right up here, this tip. And this bottom section of the ear is going to be in shadows, so it will be brown. Now we can do the same thing for the other ear. It's going to start up high, and it's going to come down on a bit of a curve, and then straight into his head. And the same thing on the top, a bit of a curve, and then into his head. And we can go ahead and draw in the black tip right away. This is going to start in right about here and curve down to the edge. And again, we're going to have a little bit of a shadow of brown underneath. So now we're going to make his face, and his face is going to come down and then it's going to come out. So we're thinking about just a gentle line that's going to go down, and then his cheeks will come out. So I'm going to actually bring this from the bottom and come out and around like this. So his cheeks are kind of pudgy, I think. Gives him a very cute look. And then they curve back in a little bit there. That's it. Same thing on this side. A little curve in, and then a bigger curve out. And now for the bottom of his face, we're just going to stop short of the center here, but we're going to indicate a chin because there's going to be some shadow here. A little bit of brown is going to be filled in here just to show the shadow under his chin. Okay, so now we're ready to make his arms, and he's going to have circles of pink cheeks here and here, and this is going to help us figure out where we want his arms to go, so I'll just draw those in right away. So over here we're going to have one arm going out to the side. It's going to start just above this little circle of his cheek, and it's going to go off to the side like this and a little further. So thinking about his ear ends here, his hand is going to end probably there. So I'll just fix this line, erase a little bit of the end, and then we're going to have his little fingers. I don't know, does Pikachu have fingers? You can tell me. And then his arm is going to come down and like this. And it might be just a little narrower. I drew it too big. So I make it smaller. And now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Find where his arm's going to start. We'll start it right up here, and we're going to have it go over to the side, and then we're going to have his little jiggy-jag fingers, and that's going to come in along a line like this. Great. And now for his belly, we're just going to draw a line that swoops along underneath those two arms like this, and we're going to put some shadow lines in. So first I'll shorten up these arms. It's okay if their lines come in front a little bit. In fact, this line should come over his belly just a bit. But we're going to put like a little armpit shadow here. And on the other side, this little line is sticking in a little bit. That's great. And again, we're going to put a little armpit shadow over here. Alright, so now we're ready to do his feet, and they are just going to stick out on these two directions like I had indicated before, and he has 3 toes on each foot. So we're going to come out like this, and make 1, 2, Same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3 toes, and back in. Alright, and we can put some shadows down here too, just some little triangles to show the shadows. Okay, so now we need to do his face and his tail, and the tail's nice and easy, so let's do that next. It's just going to come almost down to here, so let's go up like this, and across the back, and then in towards here, and then this big line coming up and angling down. Okay, now for the face. This is going to be the part you want to get perfectly, because this is what makes him look like Pikachu. So his eyes are very far apart. You want to start to think about that first of all. And his nose is pretty much in the center of his face, and his mouth is going to be a big open, like a W here, and then a big V underneath. So you want to make sure that you think about where these things are going to go. I might do some erasing here, we'll see how it goes. If you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. That's why we use pencil, because we're not always happy with our first try. So there's where I'm going to try his mouth for now. It's going to be a tongue showing here. I'll draw that in. And then his nose is really just kind of a little sideways shape like this. And then his eyes. So here's where I put his cheeks. So his eyes, I'm going to try right there and there and see what happens. So I'm going to start off with a nice circle, and you want to make these as round as you can. And trying to make them the just right size. So this is just a little tiny bit smaller than his cheek, and I think that's good. And do the same thing on the other side, so just a little closer to the middle than the cheeks, but not much. Alright, that's not as round as the first one, but I think I like where it is, so I'm just gonna erase it and try to make a nicer circle. Good. I like it. So inside Pikachu's eyes, we have reflections. So we're going to make a circle here that's going to be left white, and it's not going to be that low. Again, this is where you're going to get picky about where things go. It's going to be more like here. And the other one also coming from the center, like this. And then we need a small white circle here, like this, and these are both in the same spot on his eye, and then a small red area. I think it's a little reflection on his cheeks. A little bit of red there, and there. Okay, so now I'm ready to color him in, and I'm going to be using two kinds of Sharpie. I'm going to use my fine line, my ultra fine point for all of these small details, and I'm going to use my regular fine point Sharpie for the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and trace over these lines in time lapse. Alright, so I finished all my marker work, and as you can see, I decided to come in and use marker right away on these shadows because I wanted to erase all of my pencil marks, but I also didn't want to use a black line to show the edges of these, so I went ahead and colored them, and while I was at it, I got out my red and did his cheeks and his mouth. So now I'm going to erase all of the sketch marks that are left. Alright, so the last thing we have left to do is to add the yellow, and I'm just going to use crayon because I really do like to use crayon, but you could use marker if you like. Just be careful not to smudge your marker when you get to the darker colors. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll do it in time lapse. Alright, so that's it. You can tell me what you think, and if there are other Pokemon characters that you would like to draw, you could please make a comment in the comment section below, and I would love it if you draw your own Pikachu. If you would post a picture of it on Instagram or Tumblr or Facebook and tag me in it so that I can see it too. Thanks for watching. I'd love it if you would comment, rate, and if you're new here, please subscribe.